Hey, I'm Garen Cohn, founder of AVET Project, Air Force vet. No, this is not about me. Air Force vet, and we have our little business side, AVET Appeals, where I continue to help veterans with their claims before the VA. I retired from the Board of Veterans Appeals after I got injured in the Air Force during Urgent Fury. Anybody remember Grenada back in the 80s? And went to school, learn how to become a veterans advocate, continue to practice appellate matters for people. So that's one of the part and parcel to what AVET Project does. Not the money-making side, but to get information out. And that's why it's so important that we talk about these type of issues on American Warrior Radio. And the man you see running around here, John Lopez, Real Kingdom Media, EO Tactical, so many other ventures. There's a PSA that he's just put together because we're so focused. We're laser focused on trying to save lives. Yes, we want to lift up all our brothers and sisters in arms, but at the same time, we're losing too many, both on active duty and the veteran side of the house, 22 a day. So thank you, John. You've got to check out this video. Hopefully we're going to have it. Do we have it ready to play? Check this out. Now, I'm going to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, and I got to tell you something, people. It would take me the rest of the afternoon to tell you all of her accomplishments. She fills 2 pages, for crying out loud. So instead of that, you may know her. She's been around the community quite a bit. She deals with public affairs at AFTAC, Air Force Technical Applications Center. She's a retired lieutenant colonel from the Air Force, none other than Susan Romano. Susan, would you come up and steer this ship in the right direction?
Thank you, Garen. Kim, where are you?
Back here, sister.
I salute both Garen and Kim for putting this together. In case that gets lost in translation at the end. Thank you for doing that. Our first speaker for the day is a psychologist at Baytree Behavioral Health, Navy veteran. Where's our Navy vets out there? Please join me in welcoming Dr. Lindsay Eatman to the front.
Come on, Lindsay.
Okay, hi, I'm Dr. Lindsay Eatman. Yep, I was in the Navy, so I think I'm one of the few out of a crowd of Air Force and Army, right? Hey, there we go. So basically what I do and what Baytree does is we help out our fellow veterans. We pretty much established ourselves with helping out our own community here. And what that means is that we open our doors to anything. So if you guys are looking for VA claims and looking at diagnosis, we're happy to help, including as well as Social Security. We also do therapy. Most of us, actually all of us at Baytree, we are trained in trauma-informed therapy, so we pretty much have seen it all. And given the opportunity, our goal is to help with the quality of life and improving everything and function.
I just want to remind everybody that the services provided by Baytree Behavioral Health are amazing. AVET Appeals uses them. We've referred vets for many, many years, well over a decade now. And Doc Fairchild, Lindsay, Dr. Joseph Walden, the entire staff there will take great care of you. Back to your MC.
Your next speaker is a fantastic representative of why we are here doing the military mission here. Please join me in welcoming the Senior Enlisted Leader for Space Launch Delta 45, Chief Master Sergeant Carissa Gunner.
Okay, usually I don't get handed a mic because I'm too loud sometimes. But so like she said, Chief Master Sergeant Carissa Gunter, the Senior Enlisted Airman at Space Launch Delta 45. And so a lot of people think, what is a Senior Enlisted Airman? I've never heard of that duty title before. And I will say it's brand new. I am officially the first person to fill it here at Patrick. And really the goal of it is this is a Space Force base. And so our main leadership are guardians, our Space Force members. Our commander is a 1-star in the Space Force. And so they thought to create a Senior Enlisted Airman position because the majority of folks stationed at Space Force bases are airmen. And so when our airmen look out on the stage and see me up there, they can see themselves.
I'm going to pass
in
it
me.
off to another AVET project board member, Susie Prente, because she has an important message before she hands it back to Colonel Romano.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you to all the ladies out there who serve, and for the ladies and gentlemen, but especially today, thank you for all of our women in service and our veterans, and we really appreciate everything that you do. And my role on the board is I'm the fun person. I do the activities and social stuff, and always try and get the word out about AVET Project and help them raise
All
money.
right, next up, we've got a great speaker coming up next. Anyone who's been out to, or anybody who's ever read the news and seen what our Coast Guard unit does up in Port Canaveral, they do amazing things. Our next speaker is the commanding officer of Marine Safety Unit at Port Canaveral. Please give a very warm welcome to Commander Sarah Brennan.
It's really simple. But think in your head for 1 minute about your greatest weakness as a leader, whatever that means to you as a parent or as a boss, a supervisor out there in the world. Just take a second. And then forget about it, because we don't got time for that. Just take that, absorb it, recognize it, but then you got to let it go, and you got to get rid of it, because you do not have time for that. Just focus on what's ahead of you and leading the best that you can while taking in everyone's feedback around you. That's always been my philosophy on leadership. Everyone's an adult until proven otherwise. I need your advice, I need your technical ability, and I need you to tell me when I'm not making the right steps. And that's always worked for me. But the other things that I always focus on are education, mentorship, and then just say yes to the opportunity. That's what's gotten me
Please
through.
join me in welcoming United States Air Force retired Master Sergeant and CEO of Kegman, Ms. Susan Glasgow.
Well, I did 9 years of active duty, and I did 20 years as an IMA. I am the Chief Executive Officer, President, and owner of Kegman Incorporated. Kegman Incorporated is an economically disadvantaged, woman-owned, and a service-disabled veteran-owned small business. We provide scientific, engineering, and technical support to the government. So we maintain the communication systems for the Atlas, Delta, and Vulcan programs, United Launch Alliance out at Cape Canaveral. We also provide engineering and integration for special sensors for the Department of Interior and the Defense Intelligence Agency out at Port Canaveral. We maintain seismic equipment all over the world for the U.S. Geological Survey Program out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. And we provide advisory and assistance to the Air Force Technical Application Center, whose mission is nuclear treaty monitoring.
Okay, next speaker we have, another retired United States Air Force member. Woohoo! She is responsible for government contracts. She'll go into the details of what that means. Look, we all talk about the NCO being the backbone of the military. No. Contracts are the backbone of the military. We all know that. So please join me in welcoming Lieutenant Colonel Karen Gregory.
I will tell you a little bit about me. Air Force veteran, 24 years as a behavior scientist and an information operations officer. Got to work a lot of my second part of my career with Joint, which was awesome. Actually was very fortunate to be in Florida for 4 of my 8 assignments, and so that's half of them. I actually got to work at Diomi years ago as a uniform person, but also as a contractor and as a contract company. And so also served at the 920th Rescue Wing. So I see some of my folks back there still too, yep. So actually got to catch up with Miss Kelly Thayer from 20 years ago. Anyway, so I love this. I'm like, it's like a family
It is my
reunion.
honor to introduce retired Chief Master Sergeant and now CEO, another CEO, push it up, Dr. Gloria Witherspoon.
This is really beautiful. This is my first, but definitely not my last AVET event. Like, this is absolutely amazing, and I just want to say I'm excited to be in the room. Thank you all. Thank you to all the veterans for your service and all of the women who are here who are still serving. We appreciate you. We love you. We're here for you, and you keep it going. Right? So a little bit about me. I joined the Air Force at 20. My mother made me make a decision, so I thought joining the Air Force would stop her from wanting me to leave. When in fact, in '96, you know, your family could walk you to the terminal. And so my mom's walking me to the terminal. I'm like, she's gonna change her mind. She's gonna change, she's gonna change. And she got there, she gave me a hug, and she said, don't embarrass us. She gave me like a little pat on the butt, and off I went. And I had the exciting opportunity to lead and grow and serve in different capacities. And I always say my Air Force career was exceptional, right? Like, I had my hiccups, but I always had those mentors and leaders and supervisors who took care of me.
All right, as Garen had introduced, and you probably figured out by now, I spent my career in the Air Force. Knew from a very young age that I didn't want to be in the military, didn't know which way I wanted to go. I was enlisted first, got my commission, but the next speaker I'm going to introduce really was part of my dream. After I had deployed probably the 8th or 9th time, I realized, man, I should have chose a different career path. And the person who's coming up is, I have a serious love for the HH-60 Black Hawk. God, the only way to fly is that way, I'm telling you. It's an amazing aircraft. And so our next speaker, who happens to be the CEO of KB Solutions, is also Chief Warrant Officer 2, retired. Please join me in welcoming Chief Cody Bogart.
During this time, I went on a morale flight in the Black Hawk, and I was like, this is my calling, this is what I should be doing. And the Army said, no, you can't, your eyesight's not good enough. And I said, oh, that's crap. So I actually switched into human resources. And so yes, I was in the Army, but I was active duty for the Florida National Guard for 12 years. So during this time, I worked at state headquarters. Now in human resources, I've kind of settled into what I was gonna do. And the Army and the Navy got together for a research study program on refractive surgery. Everybody knew Cody wanted to be a pilot. So my mentor to this day came to me, and he's like, Cody, you should really apply to this study. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna apply to this study. So I did, I was accepted. I had my eye surgery at NAS JAX, so thank you, Navy, for that. So then I went off to flight school in 2004. Almost 20 years ago to the day, I've been flying helicopters, and it was one of the best decisions of my entire life, outside of initially joining the military. My passion right now is Helo Girls. So a couple years ago, I started a nonprofit called the Space Coast Women in Aviation Alliance. And the intent is, because when I was going to become a pilot, women were not nice. Women did not support each other. I was told I couldn't do it, so I was like, F you, I'm gonna do it, just to prove you wrong. All right, so I started this organization a couple years ago, and it's an opportunity for women in the aviation aerospace industry to get together and collaborate and honestly say, hey, what can I do for you? Do you just need a hug today? Do you got something coming up around the corner that's really big that you need me to be your cheerleader? Do you need me to help straighten your crown?
It's because AVET project needs your help. We need a lot of help to do the things that we do to help serve, particularly PR&R. If you haven't heard of it, Project Recuperation Reintegration Retreats for Returning Combat Vets, it changes lives. Go on the website, check it out. A lot of you are familiar with the AVET project, but, and here I am talking long, we're behind on our schedule here, so I just need to mention, please check this stuff out, sign up, big money, give till it hurts. And thank you, Kimberly, for monitoring everything up here. Wonderful program so far. I'm anxious to hear the next one, so I'm going to hand it back over to Colonel.
Thank you, sir. You know, one of the reasons that we hear why Garen and Kim do what they do with the AVET project, a lot of it is focused on the disabled veterans, whatever capacity that disability might be. Our next speaker has devoted her professional career post military service to doing just that. She is a retired Sergeant First Class, and would you please join me in welcoming Sergeant First Class, retired Millicent Roy from Career Source Provider.
My name is Melissa Roy. I did do 22 years in active duty service. I went in also at 17 years old, and I want to thank all of you wonderful, lovely ladies that did do your service, and those that also supported your families, that supported both abroad and here at home. I started investing my time into services outside of just the military. I started volunteering at the hospitals. I started trying to get into the community and learn what else I could do to be a part of not only servicing my fellow veterans or my fellow service members, but what I could help out in the community as well. I started working with children, learning how to do sign language, so that when I got out of the service after my 22 years, I started volunteering at some of the high schools to teach sign language.
All right, our next speaker, another Air Force veteran, proud to announce. She is the market leader for future home loans. Please join me in welcoming Miss Elizabeth Cassidy.
I very, very quickly decided to focus my energy on helping veterans in mortgage. And I remember my very first mentor in the mortgage industry looked at me and she said, if you only focus on VA and veterans, you'll never be successful in this industry. And 500 veteran families later in 4 short years, I'm proud to say I'm the #1 VA originator in Brevard County.
Please help me welcome Miss Erin Kelly, retired Air Force Staff Sergeant.
So my story is, like a lot of folks, I joined the military at 19. I thought I had a pretty good childhood until later on in life, and realized I was trying to get out as well. So like a couple of you, I went to the Air Force, well, let me back up just a second. God literally smacked me over the head one morning and said, what are you doing? This is not your life. And as a child, like 8, 9 years or so, I was like, I want to join the military or I want to be a police officer. Saw an HBO special, that's why I went to the Air Force. Because I wasn't cut out to be law enforcement. But anyway, so he said, you need to go to the military. So I went on the delayed enlistment as well. Went and shipped off pretty quickly, but it saved my life. The military literally saved my life.
Please join me in welcoming the inimitable Lieutenant Colonel Marcus Smith.
I started out also enlisted in the Navy. I heard there was Navy vets here, all right? I was an avionics technician, and as a little knucklehead kid, I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life, right? So I graduated high school in 1990. I know I look young, you don't have to tell me. But I graduated high school in 1990 and didn't apply to college. I really didn't study, really didn't apply myself. But when I joined the military and the Navy, that was the thing that really poured into me, and I started to excel and do a lot better. After 5 years in the Navy, got selected for an officer program, went to Georgia Tech in Atlanta, Georgia, studied electrical engineering, and I switched and became an officer in the Air Force. So that's, thank you. And I was able to retire as a lieutenant colonel.
Please join me in welcoming Ms. Sunday Lima from We Venture Women's Business Center.
We Venture was established also in 2007. We are in the BIS College of Business of FIT. And we ignite our mission is to ignite the power of women. And we do this through free and low-cost coaching, education, training. If any of you in this room, we do serve men. About 30% of our clients are men. We don't discriminate. So you're welcome. But we do focus on women and women's needs. All of our programs focus on women.
Please join me in welcoming Ms. Crystal Turman, also United States Air Force veteran.
I am so honored. I am among overcomers. I am among perseverers. I am among people that don't take no for an answer and make their dreams happen. And I am so humbled. I am also among Vietnam veterans. Dr. Fairchild will know that I don't ever pass up an opportunity to stop and say, welcome home. Yes.
Stephen, come on.
Thank you. Thank you. Because of the sacrifices you made on our home soil and said never again, I could come home from my deployment with my head held
Please
high.
join me in welcoming retired Master Sergeant Courtney Butler.
Joined the Air Force when I was 19, just to get out of Flint, Michigan. Joined on a whim. If some of you remember that movie Private Benjamin, that was this gal. So, and then first assignment was Korea. And Korea, I cried all the way there. Literally, sobbing on some stranger's shoulder that was next to me. And then had a blast. And then came here to Patrick at the time, Patrick Air Force Base. And again, I had a blast. 9/11 happened, and I was scared to death to go to war. I was on active duty at the time. Eventually, I spent 5 years active duty and the rest of my time as an Air Reserve technician with the 920th. Loved my time there too, and actually raised my hand to go to Afghanistan 4 different times.
We have Miss Lisa Waters. She is the immediate past regent for Daughters of American
So I'm here
Revolution.
very briefly to just thank all of the lady vets and the active duty ladies in the audience, and men too, for all of your service. As immediate past Vice Regent, our Abigail Wright Chamberlain chapter, we represent, of course, ladies that have genealogy that goes back to the Revolutionary War. I didn't know it, but I had great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents that provided meat and wheat to the Continental Army during the Battle of Yorktown. So that qualified me to be a daughter of the American
Here's
Revolution.
the future of Civil Air Patrol right here, doing our calling card. So,
Let them announce themselves. Go ahead.
I'm Cadet Senior Master Sergeant Matzos, and I'm the Cadet Deputy Commander for Color Guard.
All right. Oh, you gonna yap? All right. I'm Cadet Senior Master Sergeant Palmacher. I've been with AVET for, I can't count anymore. Currently, I'm acting as a flight sergeant at my squadron, but there's something more to come from that.
My name is Cadet Staff Sergeant Smith, and I am the All-Women's Color Guard Commander.
My name is Cadet Staff Sergeant Campbell, and I'm just that one guy.
I'm Cadet Tech Sergeant Orlick, and this is my first AVET event that I've been to. Hello, I'm Senior Airman Campbell. This is my second AVET event that I've been to, and I'm one of the flag bearers.
On your table, there are flowers that represent you as female service members, as women service members. She said you're as beautiful as the flowers and as beautiful as the roses, and you're as strong and as sturdy and as dedicated as the cactus. So there you go. So in that interest, we would like Kim, hold this for a minute, we'd like Kim to come over here. Mama Kim, and Mama for the community, and Hassanan made this for her. It has a little origami ship in there, and it has a few other things. This is for you, Mama Kim. And for Garen, inasmuch this is Women's Recognition Day.
Thank you.
For Garen, we have a cactus. There we go. When I was a lieutenant, and that's a long time ago, many of you weren't even born then, 1976, okay? I was leading a medical platoon, and about a third of that platoon was females. And they came to me and they said, hey, LT, can we wear this T-shirt? And the T-shirt said, be all they'll let you be. And I thought, yeah, we can wear that T-shirt. And I took a lot of heat from the chain of command, and I took a lot of heat from the other from the male officers and the male service members until I put on that t-shirt, and they didn't give me any heat anymore. So it's so important to lift up your women, whether you're males, whether you're senior women, lift up these folks. I had a secretary in Hawaii as I was a chief of equal opportunity at Triple Army Medical Center, and she was a receptionist at a GS4. She had a master's degree in English. I said, what's wrong with this picture? I put her into the federal women's program, and she went from GS4, upward mobility, GS4 to GS5, to GS7, to GS11, and when I left, she took over the office and later on became a GS12 in San Antonio at the IG's office. So we have to remember to lift our women up and to promote them and to support them. So thank you to you, both of you, and the whole team for doing this great event. And thank you to Ms. Tassanan for doing the flowers. She has a natural talent, and the golden retrievers will get over it. They'll get the attention this afternoon. Thank you.
Hi everyone, it's Garen Cohn with American Warrior Radio. I'm here with my good friend Christian. We're here to deliver a very important message about a crisis in our land.
Suicide prevention, more specifically, veteran suicide prevention.
22 a day are taking their own lives. This must stop. This can't continue. If you or someone you know is contemplating suicide, please know that God has tomorrow planned for you. Don't take your own life. And just remember, suicide is a permanent solution
to a temporary problem.
Get your business launched with Space Coast Daily through spacecoastdaily.com, Space Coast Daily's social media, in print with Space Coast Daily newspaper and the magazine, as well as email blasts and the mobile app, and also at Space Coast Daily events. You can reach new customers every day. Get launched with Space Coast Daily and take your business to new heights. Call 321-323-4460 today.